First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, appreciate you joining us. We are live streaming on our social media channels on our website and our app, and we are here every weekday at 1 p.m. Pacific. So depending on when you're watching this, now you know you can always join us here every day at that time. But we are talking about something that is taking place in Southeast Portland right now, and actually in association with the Portland Art Museum. As it says right there in the lower third, it is a new theater that has opened up on 35th and Division in Southeast Portland, renovating a building there, and really an amazing showcase of artwork. And we're going to talk all about that because we have Amy Dotson joining us right now, the director of Pam Cut. And I'm going to have you explain that to everybody too. But Amy, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really fascinated by this project and what you've done with this building and what you've turned it into. But before we even get into all of that, could you tell us just about you and what you do for the Portland Art Museum and the organization that you're a part of there?
Sure. So I am part of the Portland Art Museum team, and I'm lucky to be the director of something called the Center for an Untold Tomorrow, which is part of the Portland Art Museum. But we deal with all of the media artists and the folks that aren't content to be contained to a single medium or genre. So we do a lot of things in the film, new media, tech, but also animation arts and audio storytelling and gaming. So we're kind of, we're telling stories in a multitude of ways and supporting artists and audiences that are excited about that kind of art.
That's got to be pretty fun. That's a wide range of things that you just mentioned right there.
It is, and I'm lucky enough to also be the first curator of film and new media at the museum. So we had a wonderful show this summer with Guillermo del Toro, who is such a creative polymath and a great example of the types of artists that we're working with, who love everything from comic books to creatures and things that go bump in the night to obviously large-scale feature films and animation.
I think that's really great because, I mean, it does showcase just how wide-ranging art can be, and art can be interpreted in so many different ways, but even bringing in tech. I love tech, so I'm curious on that side. Like, how does the tech factor into the artwork?
Sure. So we did a piece at the beginning of this year called Symbiosis, which was fantastic. It was the first full body haptic suit storytelling experience. So cool. It was multi-sensory. You put on, it's probably the closest I'll ever get to being an astronaut. So you put on a full body haptic suit, you put on your VR goggles and headset, but we also fed you a Michelin star meal and had scent packs for each of the creature experiences that you went through the story world in. So at the Tomorrow Theater, we'll have all that and more, and we always laugh that who knows what tomorrow will bring, but it sure won't be boring.
That is so cool, and I wish I would have known about that when that was happening. I need to pay more attention, but that's why we have you on here, so we can learn about these things and know where to go. So talking about the Tomorrow Theater, so can you walk us through, I guess, the plan for this, just the beginning ideas of that, and then what went to fruition in choosing the location that you did?
Absolutely. So the Tomorrow Theater, as you mentioned at the top of this piece, is opening tomorrow. We are so excited. We've been working on this project for about 2.5 years, and the Tomorrow is really an exhibition space for both the museum and Pam Cut. So all those things we just talked about, we have 24 nights a month that we program out, and we are kicking things off with another creative polymath, the amazing and lovely David Byrne. So David will be with us tomorrow for a series we do called Carte Blanche, which, as you know, means whatever you want to do. And David took us up on that. And he has an amazing journalistic arm called Reasons to Be Cheerful. And it's all about the things that not only make him cheerful, but also give him hope that it can be replicated in other places. And so he'll be doing a talk with folks that are interested here in the city in affordable housing and art, and kind of picking their brain and talking to them a little bit about that. And then later on, we're going to have a dance party to one of his beautiful films. Actually, it's called American Utopia by Spike Lee, based on a theater performance that David did. So that gives you a great kickoff. And then we'll be having free screenings and talks with everything from how the Oregon Ducks got their amazing football uniforms, all the way to immersive nights, as we were just talking about, to something I'm really excited about, which is a family show that we'll be doing at the end of December and for the holidays, which is the first screening of Pee-wee's holiday special, Pee-wee Herman's holiday special, $5, and I guarantee you a good time and maybe some fruitcake.
Yeah, everything that you're saying is like right up my alley. So this is just on a personal level. Pee Wee's one of my favorites. So you got Pee Wee, haptic suits, and you got David Byrne. So I'm already sold. But looking at it though from the perspective of incorporating all of this different art, I guess let me ask this: how do you go about curating something like this? Because it's so eclectic and it seems like it's so many different types of artwork that it would be difficult to figure out how to actually plan something out for the theater.
What a good question. So we actually have themes every month that we are programming to, and we're doing things a little bit differently. In addition to making sure that people feel welcome, because not everybody's a film or a media fan, we're incorporating a lot of artists here and throughout the country who are coming in, and the idea is that at least two art forms mash up every night. So a good example of that would be something like Contemporary Color, which is another David Byrne film and piece that he did in New York, but we're doing it here. And in addition to showing the film, the Cascadia Winter Guard will be performing live in the space during the performance. So you'll have all of the color guard from our local community mixing together with the film. So we have that. And then I think the other thing that we're super excited about is we want to make sure that we have things for kids. And we just had something last night where we had a 12-year-old artist that was drawing portraits of everyone while people were able to kind of tour through the space. And so that's what we mean is like we really want to make sure that even if you're maybe not a media arts lover, but maybe you love dance or chamber music or just drawing on the back of a notebook, we have a little bit of something for everyone. And so that cultural snackery, like we talked about, is really important to us, and to have that accessibility at all ages and all levels, we're here for it.
Cultural snackery. That's a good term right there. Well, let's talk about the space itself, because we got some images here of it. I mean, this was a theater in Southeast Portland for a long time, and what you've done with it here, redesigning it, is really incredible. Tell us about this.
Sure. So it, much like the work we're doing curatorially, we're handing it over to the artists. We have some amazing local artists here. This was redone in large part due to Osmos Design, Andy Hess. She and her company really envisioned this. Speaking of Pee Wee, we really had a couple of touchstones. We said CBGB's, we said Pee Wee's Playhouse, and we said Vivienne Westwood, who is a classic punk 80s designer. And we wanted to bring life and color into the space. You'll notice this is not your mama's theater. This is purple walls, not black ones. We had Portland Garment Factory doing a lot of the acoustic work with us. We had all sorts of artisans that were painting in the space, helping us with the vision of what it would look and feel like, and all sorts of craftspeople that were uncovering things. I love that sign that you're showing with the old Oregon Theater sign. This was formerly known as the Oregon Theater. And the Maisels family, actually, who also own the Aladdin and other theaters here in the city, gifted that to us when we took over. And I have to say, that is the selfie spot of the space.
I mean, it's an amazing work that you've done there, just on the interior design, and it can see that there's a lot of space for different kinds of artwork to go on there. I think something I would ask too, because you mentioned that this can be a place for people who maybe aren't necessarily extreme art fans, or maybe are casual or just interested in it. So for somebody like that who's maybe a casual fan or just interested in learning about art, what would their experience be like walking in the door there?
Well, I think that the fun part is the fun part. This is definitely meant to be a place of fun and joy. I will say that we've done a couple of test screenings in preparation for the coming weeks ahead. And what's been fascinating is that people haven't treated it like film church. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, my mom was shushing me, putting me in a chair, putting my popcorn in my lap, and was like, "You're going to be patient and you're going to like it." What we found more is a communal space where people are talking to each other, seeing each other, asking questions. They're standing up in the space and walking around and talking to each other. And because we have artwork in the space, or because we have a DJ beforehand, last night we had a duo in the bathroom, right? Like we have all sorts of things happening. And so it gives people, I think, a little less stress to just go and explore and experience it. And also we have great food partners with our friends at Chef's Table. We're Happily Restaurant number 51. So we have a full bar for mocktails and cocktails, and the menu changes weekly with the programming. So I think there's lots of different entry points for folks that may come because their favorite DJ's there, or may come because it's a drawing night and it's fun for the kids, but they may leave with an understanding of chamber music, or an understanding of animation, or even just they had a real good time up in the bathroom, and hopefully that'll ask them to come back.
That's pretty amazing. So a lot going on there, and I think another question I would have, because I'm sure local artists will be watching this, and I'm going to guess the question they'll have is how can they get involved? So how would that happen?
Right on the tomorrowtheater.org website, there's something that says very clearly, hey, you want to participate? Tell us your ideas. And so we're taking new ideas from folks all day, every day. And then we also have curation from local artists, from community groups, from folks that are coming in and showing us what they can do from outside of Portland, because the idea is to bring Portland artists out into the world, but also bring the world to Portland. And that's why we do what we do with David Byrne and others. And it's just a joy to be able to try something new and do things differently.
I was going to ask you that. You being the was it new media director? Is that what you said, the first one of those at the Portland Art Museum?
Yes, new media and film.
New media and film. So for you, being that for the Portland Art Museum, how does it feel right now having this come to fruition, opening up tomorrow and showcasing it to the public as a whole?
I just think, I'm new to Portland. I moved here 4 years ago from New York, and I love being a part of this community because people are not content to do things the way that they always have been. And it's a joy to be part of Portland Art Museum, especially at a moment where the Rothko Pavilion is being erected, even as we speak, a whole new building for even more art and even more community to join us. And I love the fact that the Portland Art Museum is also part of the Venice Biennale. That is so cool to me that an organization of this size is able to bring the first queer Indigenous artist in 125 years to Venice, and our incredible curator, Kathleen Ash Milby, also a recovering New Yorker, is part of this curation team that's bringing it to life. And it's a really special time for Portland. And I think that I'm glad to be, as a recovering New Yorker, I love New York, but I think right now Portland's where it's at.
Well, and taking something like that, a building that's been there in Southeast Portland like that, and not, just to be honest, it's not going to be an apartment building. It's actually renovated and used for a space like that in the community. So that's always extremely valuable, and just all these different things that you're bringing there. It's really fascinating. I can't wait to take a look and see what you have on a night-to-night basis. Well, Amy, thank you very much, for joining us here to talk about this and let us know, what you're doing about that, and letting other people know about the Tomorrow Theater and just everything that you do with your section of the art museum in general. It's all fascinating, and I will definitely be there for the Pee Wee night.
Awesome. Well, I hope folks will come see us, and tickets are on sale now. All 50 of them. There's lots of different things for lots of different folks. So we hope to see y'all soon.
Great. Amy, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. And for everybody, who's been watching this show, sorry, that's my phone giving me a call. For everybody who's been a part of this show, watching Fox 12 Now, really, really appreciate it. And, that's an interesting thing that's going on there with the Tomorrow Theater. So you can check all that out, like Amy said. And you can watch all of our other interviews as well on the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel, and on the website and on our app. You can download the Fox 12 Oregon app, click on the Fox 12 Now button. But we're live, when these are going on. So that's why when I forget to mute my phone, that happens sometimes. But appreciate you all being here. We have more coming up. So at 1:30 p.m., we are going to be joined by Eric G. from Around the House Northwest. He's going to be talking about some tips to save money at your house. He knows a lot of ways to save money, and he's going to be sharing those with us, and we'll get a preview of Around the House Northwest. So if you're watching on our social media channels, you'll see this interview close out, and then join us back there, wherever you are, on whether it's Facebook or YouTube at 1:30. If you're watching on the website or on the app, we're going to continue on. So we've got more stuff for you here in the meantime. So stick around right there. If you're on social media channels, I'll see you in a few. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.